Dan Campbell's emotional response to Lions' playoff collapse. The Detroit Lions' playoff run came to a bitter end in a stunning defeat to the Washington Commanders, with Jared Goff's struggles at quarterback being a central factor in the loss. The Lions, fresh off an impressive 15-2 regular season and entering the postseason with high hopes, were undone by Goff's 4 turnovers, including 3 interceptions and a fumble, in a game they couldn't afford to lose. Goff, who had been a steady leader for the Lions throughout the season, was plagued by mistakes at key moments. His first-half performance was particularly disastrous, as he threw a pick six, made a costly late pass to an open Jameson Williams that was intercepted, and held the ball too long, leading to a strip sack that wasted a prime red zone opportunity. Ultimately, Detroit's offense couldn't recover from these mistakes, and despite strong contributions from the talented supporting cast, Goff's errors were too much for the Lions to overcome. The weight of the loss on Goff. After the game, Goff took full responsibility for the defeat, expressing regret and acknowledging that his play could have been better. "Had I played better, do we win? Possibly," Goff said, "and that's the part that will eat me alive this offseason." His candid self-criticism highlighted the weight of the loss on him personally, and his desire to improve and avoid repeating mistakes was evident in his emotional post-game remarks. Head coach Dan Campbell was similarly devastated, emotionally choking up as he reflected on the team's effort and how the players had put everything into the season. Despite his heartfelt words and the team's injuries on defense, Campbell couldn't escape the fact that Goff's turnovers were a primary reason for their elimination. Is Jared Goff's playoff ceiling too low? The loss left fans and analysts questioning whether Jared Goff is the quarterback capable of leading the Lions to a Super Bowl. Despite his strong regular season performance, Goff's inability to play mistake-free football in the postseason has raised concerns about whether he can elevate his game in high-pressure situations. Goff's previous experience in the playoffs, leading the Los Angeles Rams to a Super Bowl, only to come up short in a disappointing 3-point loss, has fueled doubts about his ability to carry a team to a title. While Goff's supporting cast is filled with playmakers, including Jahmyr Gibbs, Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Sam Laporta, the turnovers and inability to execute in key moments are significant red flags. His costly mistakes against Washington, especially the pick six and his failure to hit an open receiver in time for a potential touchdown, were glaring reminders that he can't afford to be the weak link in the offense. Looking ahead, despite these concerns, it's clear that Goff's future with the Lions is still promising. He's been part of a culture shift in Detroit, helping the team return to respectability after years of underachievement. His play during the regular season proved that he can be a capable quarterback, but questions remain about whether he can rise to the occasion when the stakes are highest. As the Lions prepare for another playoff run next season, with a fully healthy defense and a potential for even more offensive talent, the key question remains: can Goff take his game to the next level when it matters most? Head coach Dan Campbell acknowledged that improvement is needed across the board, including from Goff, if the team hopes to compete for a championship. For Goff, the offseason will be a time of reflection, growth, and the need for personal improvement. The humbling defeat will undoubtedly fuel his drive to become a better quarterback, but whether it will be enough to carry the Lions to their first Super Bowl remains to be seen. The hard truth for Detroit is that even with all their talent, they may not be able to reach their full potential with Goff playing at this level when it counts the most. You've got Jared Goff, Detroit Lions QB, looking to lead his team to a big win in the NFC divisional round. The Lions are the top seed, but what happens next is something no one saw coming. Spoiler alert: it involves an interception, a concussion check, and a missed penalty that could have changed the entire game. Buckle up, folks, 'cause we're diving into one wild ride of a football game. Let's go. The stage was set. Saturday night, a playoff atmosphere. Detroit Lions, sitting pretty as the #1 seed, ready to crush their opponents, the Washington Commanders. But, oh boy, things didn't exactly go according to plan. Let's talk about the play that had fans and experts alike scratching their heads. Now, if you blinked, you might have missed it. Jared Goff throwing what can only be described as the most unfortunate interception of his career. But wait, it gets even worse. The moment he threw that pick, Goff wasn't just watching the ball sail into enemy hands. No, 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 he was chasing. And what followed next was, well, let's just say, it wasn't pretty. The stage was set. Saturday night, a playoff atmosphere. Detroit Lions, sitting pretty as the #1 seed, ready to crush their opponents, the Washington Commanders. But, oh boy, things didn't exactly go according to plan. Let's talk about the play that had fans and experts alike scratching their heads. Now, if you blinked, you might have missed it. Jared Goff throwing what can only be described as the most unfortunate interception of his career. But wait, it gets even worse. The moment he threw that pick, Goff wasn't just watching the ball sail into enemy hands. No, 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 he was chasing. And what followed next was, well, let's just say, it wasn't pretty. Enter Frankie Louvu, linebacker for the Washington Commanders. And boom, he lays out Goff with a hit right to the head. Oh, the drama. But hold up. This is where things get interesting, folks, because it wasn't just any hit. According to NFL rules, a hit to the head? That's a penalty, a big one. In fact, a 15-yard personal foul for roughing the passer, to be exact. And that would have negated the touchdown that the Commanders were celebrating. Just like that. But guess what? The refs missed it. Mike Pereira, Fox's officiating expert, came in hot with his analysis. This should have been called. No kidding, Mike. You'd think with all the camera angles and replay, someone would have noticed the headshot on Goff. But nope, the Commanders kept their touchdown. And the game just took a weird turn. Now, here's where things took a weird twist. Jared Goff, shaken up from the hit, is escorted to the blue medical tent. This was looking like a serious situation for the Lions. But hold your horses. What's this? Goff walks out, helmet on, back in action faster than a rebooted iPhone. Talk about a tough guy. But hey, it wasn't all bad for the Lions at this point. Teddy Bridgewater, who had just been signed after coaching a high school team to a state championship, seriously. Look it up. It's wild. Stepped in. But don't get too comfortable. Goff was back in action shortly after. And just when you thought things were about to go south for the Lions, Jameson Williams pulls out a 61-yard reverse touchdown. That's right, a reverse. The kind of play that makes you want to stand up and shout. Did that just happen? But of course, the Commanders weren't done yet. They were scoring at will, although, let's be real, a couple of those points should have been wiped off the board if we're being honest about that penalty. It was pure chaos. The Lions and Commanders went back and forth, trading blows like a couple of heavyweights in the ring. Touchdown after touchdown, with the scoreboard lighting up like the 4th of July. But there was something oddly unsettling in the air. Like, this game was missing a little something. Oh, yeah, that penalty call. In the end, the Commanders walked away with a stunning 45-31 victory. 45-31. People, the #1 seed Lions sent home in what felt like a game full of what-ifs. What if the penalty had been called? What if Goff wasn't hit in the head? What if Teddy Bridgewater didn't have to come in for those few snaps? So, what did we learn from this chaos? Well, first off, don't ever throw an interception, duh. Right? Secondly, when it comes to the refs, maybe they should take a refresher course on roughing the passer. And lastly, always expect the unexpected in the NFL. It's why we watch, right? The drama, the hits, the missed calls, it's all part of the madness. So, tell me, do you think the Lions got cheated out of that game? Or was it just a bad luck night? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because, let's be honest, this one's gonna be debated for years to come. If you liked this deep dive into one of the most bizarre playoff games in recent memory, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an epic breakdown like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time for more football fun and drama. Peace out. Commanders pull off stunning upset over Lions in 45-31 shootout to reach NFC Championship. The Washington Commanders, a team that finished with the second-worst record in the NFL just a season ago, shocked the Detroit Lions in one of the greatest playoff upsets in recent history. In a thrilling 45-31 victory, Washington advanced to its first NFC Championship game in 33 years, while delivering a crushing blow to Detroit's dream season. A historic win for Washington. The Commanders, who had been a laughingstock of the NFL for over 2 decades, entered this season with hopes pinned on rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels, selected with the number 2 overall pick in the draft. But nobody could have predicted Daniels leading Washington to the NFC Championship in just his second postseason game. The win marks a dramatic